What is going on, guys? It's the Mad Dragon. Welcome back to another preview video. This one is going to be between France and Italy. For those of you who haven't seen the preview videos before, what we do is we play a game of Rugby 22 in the background of the teams that are going to be playing this weekend, and over the top we talk about the official teams that have come out and are going to be playing in real life. We'll go through all of the players, who we think might do well, who we think might do badly, and finally we will give a score prediction of what we think might happen in the real game. France versus Italy in France is always a big game, so let's get this game kicked off and underway. Alrighty, Entermac will get us kicked off. We'll start to the left this time. A little bit of wind coming back at us. We'll try and drop it deep just to see. Let's see if we can quickly recover the ball. We do. It's a good catch from Ficou, and we are away. So, France versus Italy. This is going to be the final game for the weekend of the Six Nations, which is slowly building up to be a really good weekend. We've already done the preview videos for the other two games on this weekend, so we are really looking forward to this one. Now, France, last year, wow, what a weird year they had. I think they were favourites going into the last Six Nations. They certainly had some games that looked really, really good. Then they had some games that looked very poor. They had games that they looked like they should have won and then just didn't. And then they had some games that they shouldn't really have won, and then they did, and end up beating Wales in that game they had for the Grand Slam decider. They've gone on for the rest of the year. They've had a much better rest of the year, leading all the way up, of course, to that dramatic, dominant win over New Zealand, which a lot of people were surprised about, including myself. Really didn't see the game going that way, but France being France, they always bring something a little bit different to the game. So going into this one, they're going to hopefully carry that force of what they played against New Zealand with and keep the momentum going into playing Italy. So let's take a look at the French team announced for this game. Starting off with the front row, Cyril Bay, Julien Marchand, and Antonio. Now everyone knows I love Antonio. I think he's a big boy. He just gets to smash his way through people in a couple of tackles. Now this is actually a bigger front row than I was sort of expecting. Julien Marchand is certainly up there for one of the better hookers in the world, in all honesty. He's doing real good work. He's very good in terms of that picking up from the back of the maul, going over for tries, but mainly in terms of the breakdown. Both him and Cyril Bay, both very, very good in terms of the breakdown situation, in terms of getting turnovers. Really, really good. And the competition for the front row is quite big, along with people like Camille Chat and other people wanting to get in there. So it's nice to see these people. It's a very, very strong front row. Looking back towards the locks, Cameron Woki goes in the number 4 shirt in lock, which is a big move. And Valemsa is going to go in the 5 shirt. Now, there's a bit of switching between the lock departments here. Cameron Woki seems to have been moved into this 4 shirt now with France. He certainly played around a little bit in terms of the flanker position. I'm really liking his stuff. He's a very good player. I really like seeing the combos they seem to work with between Woki and Makalu when they get to play. So hopefully we'll get to see that combo at some point. But Woki in the 4 shirt is a good move. He's very good in terms of the line out. Again, he's a big tackler, high work rate player. But also, again, in terms of turnover, a lot of these forwards now for this French team are very, very good at just getting over the ball, earning penalties as soon as it comes to a breakdown. So I think that's a very good move. And then finally in the back row, Jalange, Aldrit and Dylan Cretin will finish the back row here. Now, again, powerhouse team going on here. Now, Aldrit and Jalange have both alternated captains in the past. We seem to be moving more towards an era now where Dupont is taken over as captain, so neither of them are going to be captain for this game, but again, a lot of utility in this back three. We certainly see these lads move around. Jalange can play both 8 and 6. Aldrit doesn't mind moving around to flanker position. Dylan Cretin, I believe, can also play either wing when he fancies it as well. We've also got some people on the bench that are going to be coming in at some point. So, a lot of utility, a lot of different areas. If one sort of system isn't going to be working for them, they're more than happy to switch up and play a totally different way. As a 1-8, big 1-8 actually, I did think maybe they'd put a slightly lesser team on. They obviously want to get this Six Nations kicked off and underway with a strong start, so I don't think that's a terrible move. Looking towards the backs then, Dupont and Entermac will be filling in that half-back partnership. Dupont retaining that captaincy. People have called him the best player in the world. He's certainly probably up there as the best scrum half by all means. He's a very, very good player. He'll be looking for a few gaps. I'm sure most people will be filling this boy in your fantasy leagues as your scrum half for this game. Very, very exciting to watch. Very, very good player. Entermac taking over the fly half. No longer that sort of centre partnership with a different fly half. They've switched around a little bit. Don't know whether he'll be taking over the kicking because we do have some other kickers on the team, but we'll see how Entermac gets on. Very, very good in the loose play. In the centre partnerships, Dante and Ficou. This is becoming a bit more of a synergised centre partnership now. We don't really get to see a lot of Vakatawa anymore, but Dante Garbisi is an absolutely monstrous player. He will just go through you. Got a bit of a Bundyaki about him, just sort of runs through as the first receiver and smashes through a couple tackles, but also got a really nice step on him. So sometimes he goes for the collision and just actually steps out the way completely and makes a great amount of room. Very, very good player. In the offload to Fiku, the defence captain that France have. I think this is a big, big team. That's a good centre partnership for me. And then finally the back three. Villiers filling in that left wing. Damien Penaud on the right wing. And Jaminet in the fullback. Now, Jaminet had a very good year last year. Again, was a bit of a name that came as a bit of a surprise to me. Came in, there's so many good fullbacks in France. They have so many different people that they can go for. Jaminet came out a little bit of nowhere for me. And I got to watch him last year, and he's improved dramatically from when I've seen him, let alone what he did before. A very, very good boot on him. He obviously takes over some of the kicking for France. Don't know who will be kicking towards the post between Ntamak and Jaminet. I also believe Dupont is more than happy to get involved with kicking towards post as well. So, bit hard to judge who's going to be taking over the kicking duties, but Jaminet does have a great boot towards the post, but also from hand, got some immense distance on his kicks. And then the different setups in the French wings, which I really love. Villiers, much more based around having it in his hands, good steps, come over from sevens, fast stepping, getting round players, really like it. But then on the other wing, you have Damien Penaud, who's all about running straight, very good into the high ball. So they basically have two totally different attack options. If one isn't working for them, they just switch over to another one. I really, really like it. As we are now doing some substitutions in the background, we need to, of course, talk about the French subs for this game. So starting off with the front row here, we got Mao, Vaca, Gors and Bamba. Now, that's a big boy front row. We do know the Italians enjoy their forward pack. They do like their scrums and their mauling. So you've got to reinforce as much as possible with some really heavy units for that second half. Now, we have seen before, Italy can begin to collapse. It's moved more now probably towards the 65 to 70 minute marker in terms of the forwards getting tired. It used to be around the 50 minute marker. They are improving, but having those replacement forwards come on is always a good move. Other replacement forwards, Taufai Fanua coming in, is going to be there, the 6 foot million giant. What is he, like 6'9", 6'10" or something? He's a big, big boy. Will probably come on for Valemsa, I assume. I normally see him come on at 5, but with Cameron Vokey there, maybe they would put him on at 4, but I just feel against Italy, if they're already winning, they might take Valemsa off just to save him for the next game. And then finally, Kors going to come on in the 20 shirt. Could really come on anywhere, to be honest, because you could move a lot of people around in that back row in the scrum, so they've got a lot of options. And then finally, Lusu or Luku, I'm going to mispronounce the name, unfortunately, Mofana, who's not a name I know a lot about, and finally Thomas Ramos. So we've got a substitute centre and fullback, it looks like. So maybe Ntamak will be playing the full game, maybe Jaminet will move to fly half, and then Ramos will come on at fullback. Not sure how it will work, but this 1 to 15 big team from France. So talking about Italy, because we are now getting quite deep into the second half in this game. Italy, of course, last year not getting off to another good start. 5 losses from 5. And they're slowly going to try and build towards hopefully getting a win at some point in this tournament. Is something we all really want to see. They're doing well at club level. They just need to translate it international. It'll be really nice to actually see from them. Starting off in this front row then, Fischetti, Lucchesi and Pasquale. I don't know Pasquale as a name overly much, but it'll be nice to see him. A couple of new boys coming in there. Italy going to slowly build now towards the World Cup, really, for me. You want to be getting a lot of different players in and slowly generating a bit of a team together. End up with a solid 15. We've seen how much Italy do enjoy swapping players, and I kind of want to see them really nail a team now. In terms of the locks, Canoni and Ruzza. Again, these are two boys now we're beginning to see more and more beginning to gel together. I've seen Federico Russa in a couple of games. He's playing really well at the minute, so looking forward to see him now getting into this Italian team. Hopefully can disrupt some of the French lineouts. In the back row, Sebastian Negri, Lamaro taking over as captain, and Halafini, who is not a name I know a lot about, so I'm sure a couple of people can drop down a bit about Halafini. I really don't know that name. But Lamaro coming in now, a bit more capped, a bit more experienced player now taking over the captaincy. That'll be nice just to see. Hopefully he can lead from the front. We know, again, the French pack's going to want to try and take over the forward situation, so hopefully they can keep their scrum together. It might give them a bit of a platform to reach some tries or some driving balls somewhere along there from the French, but, you know, French defence is always strong. In terms of the halfback partnership, Stephen Varney and Paolo Garbisi, the youth in this team, absolutely in this halfback partnership with Paolo Garbisi, still a very, very good player, still really stands out in this Italian team for me as one of the better players. Stephen Varney struggled a little bit last year. He's very excitable, wants to get going. The only problem is the rest of the Italian team needs to back him in order to go at the speed he wants to play, so hopefully they can stay on his level. In the centre partnership, Marco Zanon and Ignacio Breck, so they're going for a little bit more of an attacking strategy hopefully here. They haven't got Carlo follow Canada, so they haven't got that double fly half setup that they normally play in the centre. So this is going to be a much more normal setup for a rugby team having 2 dedicated centres. So we'll be interested to see how they get on. And then finally in that back 3 we have Varney, Mononcello, gonna butcher that lad's name, unfortunately don't know a lot about him, and finally Eduardo Padovani, who had a really good year last year. Very nice to see him back in this team and hopefully can retain that 15 shirt for a little while. And because we are nearing the end of the game now, we'll quickly move on to their subs. Starting off, we've got Fiver, Nema and Zilocci. So there's a couple of names in there. There's a few caps in that front row. I certainly think the French front row's probably got better substitutes coming on in terms of experience. Marco Fusa and Pettinelli, again another name I don't know. There's a couple of names in this Italian team that's going to be a bit of a surprise to me. It's going to be fun to watch. Again, having slightly lesser cap players on can bring a real different dynamic to your team. I don't think it's a terrible move. Zuliani is going to come on in that 21 shirt, Callum Brayley in the 22 shirt, and Leonardo Marin are going to come on. So Italy, I believe we've gone for a 6-2 split here. I'm not actually sure who Zuliani is, so could have gone for the 6-2. So like I said, Italy liking their forward setup. They're going to want to try and maintain away from that French scrum domination if they can do. Keep putting those replacements on, keep taking charge, and just try and hold out for as much as possible, trying to see the least amount of points as possible. So in terms of a score prediction going into this game, I'm absolutely going to be backing France. I mean, the score you might see on screen now is maybe not an outrageous score, not necessarily the actual score, but the score difference. I might be looking around that route. I'm going to say France I think France is going to go quite attacking for this one. I think they're going to want to keep momentum. I don't think it's going to go over the 30 margin, but I certainly think they'll get over the 20 margin. I'm going to say, you know what, let's go with the score that was on screen. Let's make it a bit of fun. Let's make an actual prediction. France by 24. That's going to be my call for this game. But of course, guys, I am but one guy on the internet talking nonsense about rugby, so make sure you guys drop down in the comment section your thoughts on the game, who you think's going to win, what you think the score difference will be, all that good stuff. I really enjoy reading through the comments. And of course, we are still running the Fantasy League. You have one day left to join in the Fantasy League. There is a video on the channel how to join both the predictor and the official fantasy on the channel. Go check out that video. It's the same icon as on screen for you guys right now. Make sure you join. It's a lot of fun. We've already got a bunch of people set up. People can join later if they want to, but the only problem is you might struggle to catch up after missing an entire week's worth of rugby. So last chance, probably now, just before the week starts off. But I hope you've all enjoyed today, guys. I'm really looking forward to watching some Six Nations on the weekend. We will, of course, be doing the Team of the Week video coming out next week, so make sure you stick around for that one as well and are subscribed just to know when that video comes out. I hope you've all enjoyed today, guys. I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.